Hello, everyone. Welcome to the GLTG podcast, episode number 10. I'm your host, Kyle Ambrosi, and with me is...
David Hobbs.
Perry Ambrosi.
And Kyle Hendricks.
David has a joke for us. David?
So, Kyle,
Yeah.
why is the pimp's garden always so wet?
The pimp's garden?
Yeah.
He has too many hoes.
He has a lot of hoes, yeah.
That was a bad joke. Thank you for that.
You asked me for a bad joke.
I thought you'd give me something better. That was bad, just not good.
Yeah.
Weak, bro.
Well,
that was
I'm
weak.
sorry. I'll just go kill myself then.
You can't make that joke on the podcast. It's insensitive. He just made a exasperated expression. So,
I'll cut it out.
you'll cut out your expression?
I'll cut out my terrible joke.
David, shut up. So, does anybody... Perry, you started a new job.
Hell yeah, man. I'm working at UPS now.
How is it?
Oh, man, it's really crazy.
No, it's not.
Man, I almost passed out on my first day.
Because you stayed up all night, I assume?
No, I didn't.
Oh.
I'm on my sleep schedule.
It sounds like a Perry thing to do, though.
It does sound like a Perry thing to do.
No, I don't do that no more.
Good.
Proud of you.
So, what is your job?
Well, basically, I'm sitting in a... It's really hard to describe. There's like this aisleway. Oh, this chair's creaky. There's this aisleway that's like... There's a conveyor belt to my left, and then there's 4 trucks on my right. And I'm loading all 4 of those. At least on my first day, I was.
Tell us about these trucks, Perry.
Don't tell us about the trucks.
No, it's actually interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
I mean, okay, I don't... So, they have names. The trucks have names, and that's the cutest
David
part
is
of the
very
job.
excited about
No,
this.
because you'd think it's boring as shit, but it's actually not boring as shit.
They all have these cool names that the drivers are like assigned to, like so they know how to find their trucks. There's Pete, there's
No.
Kilo, there's IDC, and then there's 19E.
Yeah.
That's what I was loading up. There's probably 100 more trucks that all have cool names, but I met Pete the other day.
Pete, the truck?
Yeah,
Gotcha.
and the trucks all have like personality too. I feel like because the drivers that drive them like leave them a certain way at the end of the day. Obviously, one of them. Like, they have, like, the labels for where the packages go, which the packages are labeled from 1,000 to 8,000, basically. So, and those match, like, the districts that they deliver to, so they keep it organized. So, for example, there would be, like, Pete 1029, and I would put it, like, somewhere in the beginning row of the 1,000 section, and that's how that works.
Gotcha.
So they're all labeled like that. It gets pretty fucked, though, especially when you have, like, really big boxes, and they're labeled, like, Pete 2009, and you're just like, well, it obviously won't fit on the top shelf, so I gotta like leverage where it goes on the bottom racks, which are extra big.
So you have to get really good at Tetris.
Yeah, basically, it's really fucked up. Like the first truck that I was loading on my first day, like all the boxes were just everywhere. I had no idea what the fuck to do. I'm like, oh my god, like this is nerve-wracking.
Yeah, I feel like that
fuck.
would just stress me the fuck out. Just like, because
Yes.
there's just boxes continually coming at you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Like, and
I could not do that.
You when you look out from standing in the middle of the truck, the conveyor belt is going like, it's going to your right.
Did you
Like, they just
drop
keep
any
going.
boxes on your first day?
Did you have
No.
a pile up on the conveyor
Yeah, did you
belt?
did boxes start
Oh,
falling
there was a
off the
conveyor
conveyor
belt.
belt?
Except I
God.
wasn't the only one though,
Oh.
and it's because, and I found out the reason why I was loading 4 trucks. Like, I was wondering if that's like a normal thing, but it's not. Because I was texting my friend who also worked at UPS, and she said I was loading 1 truck when I first started, and they had me loading 4. So
It's because you're so damn good.
I know, I was wondering like, what the fuck is up with that?
Like, this kid's gonna be a loading master. Let's see what he's made of.
I feel like, yeah, they were testing my metal because there was 3 new guys, and the other 2 guys got like shipped off immediately because like when you first get there at 3 in the morning, there's like a cafeteria that we all sit in, and then basically your supervisor will like pull you out and tell you which aisle you're going to. There's 8 aisles, and so yeah, they put me on the fucking hardest one because one of their full timers wasn't there. So that's crazy.
It's like first starting at Discount Tire. They just fucking throw you right in
Yeah,
there.
they
and
throw you
you
right in
suffer
there.
instantly. Like, wow, this is actually fucking terrible.
Yeah, it's scary because you don't want to like fuck anything up, but
I
nobody's
remember that.
really helping you.
You remember that time I brought you that coffee and I just stood next to you for like 5 minutes?
In the morning?
Yeah.
Yeah, was I putting the winter tires
Yeah.
on your car? Yeah.
Well, no, I wasn't even there to give
you
you
just
tires.
were
I
just-
just
yeah,
showed up
okay.
to give you coffee.
Yeah.
And I was just like in the middle, and there was people like
It's just
rushing around
fucked,
me.
man.
It seemed like it
Discount Tire was the hardest job ever.
Yeah.
It gets like once you get into the groove, it gets fine. But the groove depends on everyone else, and if nobody else is in the groove, you can't be in the groove, and then you're just fucking everything up.
It was hardly ever like everybody was in perfect unison. Most people were lazy as fuck there. It's just a
Yeah,
bunch
I
of
could name a
uneducated
few.
The worst
people.
thing that happened today was my boss just called me a dumb shit. So
Wow. Sorry, David.
That's
That's
okay.
that kind of stings a little.
I
Damn.
didn't have anything at all today. Guess consistently this week, I've done about a third of the work. Every day I've done, my average, I calculated it. I started calculating my average because I was so bored. On average,
That's
Fucking
impressive.
nerd.
on average, I do about 80 watches a quarter.
Okay.
So 80 watches a quarter times 4. Roughly, I get around 320 watches done a day, on average. This week, today alone, I did 132 watches.
Wow.
Yesterday, I think I did 12 watches in a quarter. I was like, what is going on, dude? Yeah, it's a great job.
Dude, work at UPS with me. You'll be loading 4,000 packages in a whole day.
that sounds like a dream. I love to do.
Yeah,
that.
it doesn't.
You know what my boss had me do yesterday?
Did you go on the roof?
Huh? No. Nah, I came close to it, though. Nah, you know the banquet rooms back there?
Yeah.
Right? 24 light bulbs hang from the, 12-foot high
Did you have to
ceiling.
change
I had to change every single goddamn light bulb.
Did he give you a ladder? Or
great.
did you give you
Yeah,
like a full- okay.
I had a ladder, but,
Every single one?
I had to move tables and chairs out my way to get the ladder. And I had to move the ladder 48
Man.
times in total. I had to
taking me
climb
back,
up it
bro. You're taking me
48
back.
times in total.
That's great.
When I used to work at Detroit Moped Works, it was exactly like that too. It was just a bunch of little odd jobs. Like I went on a ladder and I was changing ceiling panels. in, like, the
Honestly,
whole store.
sometimes I
fucked up.
prefer to do like the little menial tasks that my supervisor gives me to do when I don't have any there's no work, because it just breaks up like the rest of the shit. That I
Yeah,
could
it gets
do.
rid of the monotony.
Yeah.
Like today, instead of sitting there doing nothing, I asked my boss for more work, and he was like, "All right, go laser engrave watches." I was
That's
like,
what you were
That's
doing,
fun.
okay.
Yeah,
That's
I was
cool as
laser
fuck.
engraving second quality watches, so we can tell the
Nice.
difference between first and second quality.
Nice.
And you just fucking use lasers. It's awesome. You're like, "Pfft." And then you take it out and you do another one. Pfft. It's awesome. It's really cool. But
Oh, and another thing that I did the day before that, they had me doing hosting, catering, and banquets and stuff right now for hours, right?
yeah,
And for hosting and catering, I get my cook pay still. Banquets is
Perry shit himself in that.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So
banquets I get paid less, but I get tips from it. But let's see, 2 days ago I was sitting there hosting, got nothing fucking better to do, and some dude that called in a carry out. It's like early in the morning. It's like one of our first fucking people to come in.
yeah.
And he yanked the fucking handle off the door, off the locked door. And
The
like
front door.
yeah, we have one.
the fuck
we
you
have
yank a
one
metal handle off?
We have one open door and one locked one, right?
Yeah.
And he kept tugging at the locked one, and instead of being like intelligent and like, opening, like, this one's locked. Let me try the other one.
Yeah.
He just yanked that bitch off, and because it got yanked off, the door unlocked. So it flew open as he flew backwards, right, holding this handle. And he came in and he was like, yeah, I'm here for this carry out. And I think it was Katie who was the waitress that day, and she was like, yeah, let me go get it real quick. And she comes back and he's like, oh yeah, this came off, and set it on the bar. And we looked at it like, what the fuck, right? So Jerry, being Jerry,
Oh god.
fucking, he was like, all right, Kyle, I need you to I'm gonna grab all these sockets and find which one that fits these bolts. And then he handed me a fucking
He made you fix the door.
power drill to undo the other handle with screws. And so I took it off and I was going through all the sockets. None of them fucking fit. And I was like, how do you have all the sizes except the one that you actually need for the door, right? So luckily one of the cooks had a socket set in his car, so we got that.
So that'd be like me.
But instead of being intelligent and unlocking the one with the good handle, right? Nah, they just took the one and they fucking moved it. And I was like, why? Why would you do this?
So moving on from shitty work stories, because work sucks. It's been really stormy lately in Michigan. I don't know why you're laughing at me. It has. So that
You left your windows open. That's
no, I do, huh?
at Coney. Didn't you have your windows cracked?
No.
You
What are you talking about, dude?
At Coney, dude. When it started raining.
What does that matter? The back windows don't get any water in them.
Anyways,
yeah,
it was
doesn't.
stormy
whatever, go.
this past week, and
I just wanted to talk about like your favorite, like your favorite scariest weather, natural disaster.
I don't think. Okay, I guess.
Not like favorite, but like, you know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
Like
In the event that shit happened, what would be the most preferable?
no,
Or least scary?
no. The most interesting, I guess, is what I'm asking. Like the one that piques your interest the most. I think tornadoes are the coolest because nobody really knows what tornadoes, how they work, right?
They kind of do.
They do. But David, bro, I'm looking at you.
No,
right now.
I find that that stuff's interesting because I went to summer camp with the guy who wanted to be a storm
made
chaser.
tornadoes?
Yeah, he made tornadoes. He was
Gotcha.
Zeus, but
Zeus made lightning, dumbass.
yeah, I don't know. He's a guy of storms or something like that.
I mean, lightning, storms.
Whatever. Anyways, and I just found that really interesting that you'd want to like purposefully drive yourself and put yourself in harm's way.
I actually think I would too.
Yeah?
I want to be a storm chaser.
Okay.
Imagine how cool that would be.
That'd be fucking
Do
awesome.
you, did you ever watch the documentary or like the TV show on Discovery of that dude who built like a fucking tank
Yeah.
and drove it into the middle of a tornado?
I'd wanna-
That's the coolest shit ever, right?
But then, like, there's the other 80% of them who just get their Ford Ranger.
Yeah, because
and
they
they put
have
like a net on top
dumb
of the window
shit.
so that the gigantic hail doesn't break it instantly. And they put on bike helmets and they just drive into the middle.
yeah,
of the
but
fucking
those cars
storm.
are stupid because the whole trick with tornadoes is the air that gets under the car and lifts it.
Yeah.
So the thing with this fucking tank thing was he built like a hydraulic system that dug into
And
the
then there
road.
was little like spikes. That
Yeah,
went
so
into
it
the
couldn't
fucking
lift
ground
off.
too. Yeah, I saw that.
That's crazy, right? I would do that. I'm gonna build a car, David.
I thought lava is actually quite interesting. I don't think I'd ever want to like be in the way of it because that'd be really fucking scary just to be like sitting there and,
And it's
then
so
get
slow.
blocked
It's
in.
ominous. Yeah, it's
but it's
ominous.
just there's nothing you can do about it. I was reading because I was looking up like information about the kind of stuff that they have to do when these kinds of
Hawaii
things happen.
just had
and
volcanic eruption.
I think it was Greenland or Iceland, one of the islands had to put like 1 billion gallons of water from the ocean onto a lava flow to try to get it to stop before it like rampaged through a city.
Wow.
To get it to stop,
What the
like just to
fuck?
stop moving, because they basically have to spray it on the side so it builds up a dam enough to
Yeah.
prevent the pressure from breaking through and continuing just to have it to flow. It's like a hurricane, only instead of like it blowing through in like half an hour, it might take a couple days to get to your house, but then you come back and there's just 15 feet of solid
you can't
rock
build
on
over
top
it.
of your
Yeah,
house. It's just like
it ruins.
wow, I
cities.
wish I could get any of my like prized personal possessions out of my house, but it's all the way down there. Like,
either burned up or encased in stone.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy. I was also reading about how because lava is so dense, if you could figure out a way to not burst into flames, you could pretty much like ride on top of it. Like you could just stand on top of it. So
Really?
that scene from Terminator where he falls into the lava and he puts
not
up his, it's
realistic.
not how it would work. He just fall on top of it and he just float on the top until he like burned. It's kind of shitty, but
Well, he was made of metal, so maybe it would work.
no, I guess that was molten metal. But when you get substances like that, it's more dense than you'd think like water would be.
Yeah, a human wouldn't sing. Anyways, I don't know, man. I used to go on YouTube. I still go on YouTube all the time and look up like worst tornado disasters and just watch videos of tornadoes. Like,
Wow, look at all these
EF5s.
people dying, man.
Nah, they
that's
just
amazing.
like go
Like,
through fields in Oklahoma.
that people like that tornado probably kill people.
Yeah,
Like,
probably. But like, I'm not
yeah,
watching
sure.
it. I'm just watching the tornado blow
I
stuff
really
up.
like sinkholes.
Those are interesting.
Yeah, bro,
Those are
sinkholes
really.
fucking
Sinkholes.
gold.
They just come out of nowhere.
Exactly.
Yeah,
David,
They
I
appear.
swear to God.
And like
it takes months, sometimes years for them to form, but then they open up. Yeah, I
Yeah,
would
but, like-
hate to have my house like get engulfed in one.
have you heard of like stories of sinkholes where it's like it opened up, it's like sank a fucking house, and then like they went in to go like check it out, and they found like this massive cave system,
Yeah.
right? Like it's fucking cool.
Do you know how sinkholes form? Do you know how sinkholes form?
No, I never looked into it.
So-
all I know is that they're cool.
yeah.
I'm gonna try to make this as quick as possible because I don't think anybody cares. But
Yeah.
when you have a pipe that breaks, what'll happen is the water will find a way to get out of the pipe, and what'll happen is as the water starts to flow, it'll try to go away from the pipe, and it basically starts to erode the sediment down. So you'll get a water flow going in a direction that'll pull all the sediment until it basically just starts forming a cavern. And then that cavern will continue to expand as more sediment gets pulled out of the area until you basically just have a thin layer, sometimes of like concrete and pavement, that for some reason one day like a truck drives over it and then just breaks open into this gigantic hole. It's just loose sediment. Yeah, it's crazy.
It's aliens.
It's aliens.
It's aliens.
It's like giant the worms from Dune.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing.
I think speaking of which, I think a dust storm, like a sandstorm, would be really cool.
It'd be cool, but not as cool as a tornado.
Fuck
like
sand.
Just like looking over at
it's
the
coarse and
horizon.
rough and gets everywhere.
It does.
Looking over at the horizon as you're riding on top of your camel, and you just like pull
kinda
away your
racist.
face mask. What else would you be
kidding,
fucking riding in
dude.
the desert? Fuck off,
a
car.
car.
In the middle of a desert?
Yeah.
Good luck trying to get that thing out. And you just like pull away your face mask, and you're like, oh god, and there's just a wall of sand coming at you. So you have to like.
There was a time Perry and I were on a
your
road
camel
trip.
and fucking run away.
Trot away. There's a time Perry and I were on a road trip, and we were coming back from Alabama, right? And there was a tornado forming right, like, couple miles out. Perry got out and took a picture with it, so there's a picture of that somewhere. But
I think lightning storms are cool too. Just like really
Thunderstorms are
severe
really cool,
thunderstorms. I just think they're amazing. I remember one time I was camping, and we were camping right on the edge of a river, and the lightning hit the fucking river. And I just like, it was the quickest I've ever seen from like pitch black to just like completely like daytime
blinding,
out.
yeah.
And then it was the quickest I've ever gone from like laying like this to going, oh my god, that's the loudest thing I've ever heard in my life. It was like
I mean,
a
yeah, it's like
gunshot.
TNT gunning
Yeah.
going off right in front of your face.
It's crazy. We went out and you could see where like the fish had died. It was nuts. I was like, I could not fucking believe it. I was like, and nobody came around to like like warn us about the storm that was coming in because we were at a summer camp. Like we were
You
staying
could
there
kinda
for a
look
week.
up and see it.
Okay, but it was the middle of the
thunderstorm.
night, Kyle.
It's a thunderstorm.
And you think it would have been nice if somebody ran to the camp with a flashlight and went, "Hey, there's a really bad thunderstorm coming in. You guys might
heard
want to
it.
get into like a car."
Could have heard it though.
Okay,
It's
but you hear a thunderstorm and you go, "Okay, it's not going to get that bad until it's on top of you." And it's like you look. I looked outside my tent at some point and I could only see water on the ground. There was no land. I could just see water.
Were
and it
you,
was
were you actually
flowing
in the
around
river
you.
floating away in the
No,
tent?
and that would have been even scarier. At some point, I thought that might happen.
Just get lifted off.
Yeah.
Tents aren't that waterproof.
Did like water get in your tent, bro?
No, I was lucky because I came
David's an Eagle
outside.
Scout, okay?
I came outside of my I was just really fucking lucky. I came outside of my tent and I was just on like the very edge of like a huge like depression in the ground. So everything around me was just water. But then it just like went up and I was in this little because I like to camp right next to trees and stuff in case one of them falls over and kills me. Yeah, no, because it's just I like to be kind of back because what happens is if you I don't know if you guys have ever been in a tent.
No,
when
never.
the sun comes up and it turns into like a greenhouse.
Yeah.
Which you can prevent that most of the time if you camp kind of like inside some small trees that have some cover over top
Inside
of
a
them.
tree?
Kind of like inside like a
Inside a tree?
Winnie the
That's
Pooh?
crazy. Winnie the Pooh. Winnie lived in the tree. I forgot about that. I was thinking of the rabbit.
Yeah.
Anyways. What's the rabbit's name?
I don't care.
Rabbit.
Thanks.
It was literally rabbit.
Okay.
Eminem.
What? Eminem.
From 8 Mile. The movie?
I know who Eminem is. What are you talking about?
Man, y'all hear about Drake and
We're
Pusha
We're talking
T,
about a
bro?
rabbit.
One of his
nickname
nicknames
Rabbit.
is Rabbit.
No, it's
From the
not.
movie 8
Okay.
Mile.
It's Marshall Mathers, but thank you.
One of his nicknames, yeah. His actual name is his nickname, yeah. You want to talk about SpaceX?
Stupid.
Okay, we can talk about SpaceX.
Okay.
So-
Talk to me about SpaceX.
Every week we talk about Elon Musk. It's a
Yeah, of
tradition
course.
now. And so,
We talked about him twice this week because we love him so much.
well, yeah, but we're gonna release the episodes at
We
separate
love
times.
you, Elon.
Oh my god. Anyways, SpaceX has, thank you. SpaceX on June 4th is supposed to launch a hybrid Falcon 9, which is the Falcon 9s are designed in blocks. Each block is more technologically advanced. And so the bottom half, the reusable ones right now are Block 4s. That was the most technologically advanced booster. Was the Block 4s until they released Block 5 in May. But on June 4th, they're supposed to be launching a quote-unquote hybrid Falcon 9, which is a Block 4 first stage, which is the reusable ones, the first generation reusable ones, and then a Block 5 upper stage, which is highly efficient. And I don't think they're reusing the first stage. Like, they're just getting rid of it.
I was reading about it. They don't think they're going to be able to recover it just because they haven't gone that far into the testing. They're going to try to recover it, but they
Yeah.
don't think that it's going to be able to land. They actually pushed this back because they wanted to test that.
Yeah, it's been
that
pushed back
section.
3 times, right? Yeah.
And they're putting a satellite up in the orbit that's based out of Luxembourg. So
Really?
I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
They just did another test, or they just did a flight where they put up a experimental space plane that NASA was designing. Did you hear about that?
I don't think I did.
Yeah.
Was it the Boeing?
I don't know.
Because I don't think SpaceX would do a Boeing launch.
No, SpaceX fired up the 9 engines on the Falcon 9's rocket's first stage last week during a static fire test on May 24th. The Falcon 9's first stage was last used in September 2017 when it launched the robotic X-37B
Yeah, the
spaceplane. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was,
okay.
yeah,
I
the
thought it
US
was recently.
No.
Okay.
I was just reading about it in this article, but yeah, revolutionizing the space industry. How long do you guys think it'll be until we are capable of going into space? Like us.
Like just civilians?
Just as
Well,
civilians.
because SpaceX has a contract with NASA to do just that. Or not necessarily do that, but to put steps forward to do that. SpaceX has a contract to be able to take astronauts to the space station again, so we don't have to depend on Russian boosters, the Soyuz rockets, which we've been depending on since the space shuttle ended in 2011. SpaceX has designed their own spacesuit. They have a Crew Dragon, the version 2 of the Dragon, but they just haven't done it. They've been pushing it back just to work on reusability and
Exactly.
cheaper costs.
I also think they probably want to get, because they've had some issues.
Well, they've had far less issues than most other space corporations.
But still, I
think.
think you want to pretty much get all of
Perfected.
it perfected down to a very small margin of error before you actually start using like people's lives.
Yeah.
Because that would be a huge issue.
Oh yeah, if they killed
yeah,
astronauts in a launch,
that
that would be insane.
That would be the end of the program,
But
probably.
I would venture out to say that SpaceX is probably Elon Musk's most successful company.
Oh, definitely.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, unless you consider Tesla to be.
It's not successful right now, I don't think. Like, they've pushed out 3 cars and a semi. The semi's not released yet, but they keep running into issues and they're still in the negative. Whereas SpaceX is only going up. Like, they haven't fucked up as much. They haven't fucked up at all in recent history, I don't think. What was the last one? Was September? Was they had the, or was it last summer where they blew up,
They had that booster fall. You remember that?
No. Booster fall.
When they were trying to do
but
the
that's
landing.
not even a fail because, I mean, their launches don't depend on the landers coming back.
Yeah.
The only true fail they've had was when the oxygen tank on a second stage exploded last summer or 2 summers ago. So it's been a long time since they've had a catastrophe. And like, I don't know, I just think they're on a really amazing track.
So Perry,
Oh yeah.
15 years from now, Elon Musk in his later years comes out and he says, for like X amount of money, we can shoot you up into space and you can ride in orbit for like an hour, a certain amount of time, and then you'll come back down and you can land back down.
Yeah.
Would you be interested in that? Space
Fuck
tourism,
yeah.
yeah? Yeah, you'd want to see like
Well,
the curvature of the Earth.
Virgin Galactic is also working on that.
Fuck Virgin Galactic.
Why? Why do you say that?
Because they've been, all that I've read about them is they keep saying that they're ready to launch even though they don't put anything up to launch.
Yeah.
And they've been stealing technology that they know for a fact is obsolete. And they just, what's the main guy behind Virgin Galactic? Richard Branson.
Richard Branson.
Is kind of like, at this point, crazy.
Wow. They all are. You have to be crazy to run a space company.
He had an entire, he had an entire crew ready to go up into space, and he replaced one of them because he wanted to get the training and he wanted to go up with them. Imagine if Elon Musk wanted to be like one of the first people to go up in space with them. Realize how stupid that would be?
Yeah,
no, but do you realize how stupid that would be?
Yeah, no, I do. I definitely.
We're gonna put this hyper intelligent CEO of our company up into space for the first time, and then it explodes, and then they're out of ideas.
Wow.
Have y'all ever met a flat earther?
Yes.
Yeah, I had my astronomy class had a flat earther in it. It was
that's a
fucking
great
stupid.
idea.
Every time the professor was talking, this kid would be in the back. He'd be wearing sunglasses and he'd have his arms crossed. He'd be like, "Yeah, but how does this work if the Earth is flat? Because it is flat, you know."
Was he just fucking with
I
people,
don't
or
think
was he like a neck beard?
I think he was. He wasn't. He didn't have a neck beard, but he. may
Okay,
have
but
been.
was he like one of those people where it's like,
Yes.
I'm not gonna socialize with everybody else. I'm just gonna read
I think
things
he was
online.
just weird. Yeah. I don't know.
And because that's like, I don't know if you guys have ever seen like flat earther rallies on the
Rally?
internet. No,
Jesus,
when
oh
they
my
get
God.
all together and they start, because you get like, I found 2 groups of people who believe in flat Earth. There are the super randos who are just like, all they do is the internet, and they wear clothes that were popular in like 2005. And they just sit on their like desktop computers in their parents' basement, just scrolling through Reddit the entire day, just like looking at flat
That's
Earth
what I do.
propaganda.
Wow.
Yeah, but you are interested in females. And then you have the other end of the
Well.
spectrum that is like middle-aged conservative parents and stuff who found like one of their friends linked them to like a Facebook post that just explained all this crap, and they're like, seems good to me. Like, I believe everything that they put on Facebook, and so now they just think that flat Earth is real.
You know, that's about fucking right on the money. That's about accurate as
Do
hell.
you guys know where this came from?
No.
I honestly am very curious where the flat earther movement came from.
It was a joke, and they were trying to
sure it
get
was.
people to believe it on 4chan.
It's like My Little
Like
Pony.
every other really stupid thing that's
Not
going around
surprised.
right now. Like when Pepe the Frog was getting attached to
4chan
Nazis
fucks
and everything
everything
like
up,
that.
man. They are really good
A
at
whole
it.
group of weird guys on 4chan were like, wouldn't you think it's funny if we start putting out this propaganda that made people think that flat Earth was like real?
No, that's not.
And then
funny,
everybody
bro.
just
shit
ran
works.
with it. And everybody just ran
It's
with
like
it.
vaccines cause autism.
Exactly.
Except that was actually like a doctor was like fucking up data just to do it.
He wanted to get popular.
Exactly.
He put out a
did.
scientific study that
was false.
that basically is a perfect example of correlation does not equal causation, where he found certain cases, if you put certain parameters on certain tests, you could find that people with autism also had a link with vaccines because
Which every
everybody was
child in
getting
America.
vaccines.
Yeah.
There's like 1 or 2 cases that they think that they could correlate it. And then what happens is nobody checks their studies, and you look
It's
at
scared parents.
yeah,
Mostly.
you look at things like the chemicals that they put in vaccines, which when you look at what the chemicals do, they have perfectly credible like medical applications. But then you say that it's ammonia, or you say that it's a nitrate or a sulfur or something like that, and then it scares people because they have
They don't
no
know what
medical
chemicals
background
are, yeah.
whatsoever, and it just looks like they're pumping chemicals into their child. And once again, somebody links another like middle-aged mom on Facebook to this study that shows that somehow like vaccines are causing all these kids to die.
Did you know that 100% of people who drink dihydrogen monoxide die?
Oh my god.
Avoid it. Avoid dihydrogen monoxide.
Fucking
But
hate you.
now what you're seeing is things that we had pretty much like eradicated in our society, like
coming
measles,
back, yeah.
are coming back, which is scary as fuck. Because if you guys know anything about herd immunity, I think it is. It's not so much the fact that you need to vaccinate everybody, it's the fact that you need to get enough people vaccinated so that you don't have an outbreak. So if you get 80% of kids in a school vaccinated, you might have 20% that don't have that vaccine, but if you start getting closer and closer to 50%, then it gets to a situation where it's so prevalent that even vaccines can't prevent it. So then
Because-
you can get vaccinated,
yeah, because
and you
these
can still get this disease.
Viruses will learn to build their own immunity to
Exactly.
it.
Yeah.
So if they have a harbor of children that aren't vaccinated, they can build off of that and get worse.
Yeah.
So
It's like the same thing with GMOs. Everybody freaks the fuck out about GMOs.
I never understood that. Our mother has a problem with GMOs, and I don't get it.
It's the same thing. People see genetically modified organism and they picture some doctor like syringing
Stabbing
into
a
like a
chicken.
piece of corn, and he injects all of these chemicals into it, and somehow it makes the corn grow like 15 feet tall. And for some reason, that's going to give people cancer. Where
Just
once again,
don't get it.
causation does not equal correlation. Some doctor put out a study that said GMOs are causing this, GMOs are causing that, and then everybody read a headline because they knew that they could put it up as a clickbait article. All they did was read a headline that says GMOs cause cancer, and then they went to their PTA meeting and they
Back
said,
to our couple podcasts ago, everything causes cancer.
yeah, Barbara, did you know that GMOs cause cancer? And Barbara went, oh my God. Leanne, did you know GMOs cause cancer? And then everybody thinks that genetically modified organisms. News break, I don't know if you guys know this, pretty much everything that we
Everything.
eat is genetically modified.
Like, dude,
If you look at
genetically
domestication-
modified, it's just
Yeah.
literally farmers started planting crops and like, oh, this one will grow faster, so I'll just
Exactly.
keep using this seed.
Domestication
That's
and
genetically modified.
cultivation. If you see one plant is doing better than the other one, you're going to take the seeds from that plant and grow it instead of those. It just is common sense. That's what we've been doing ever since we stopped moving around and stopped hunting after animals.
Yeah,
and
like
put
15,000 years ago.
But now everybody's freaking the fuck out. Obviously, the one thing
It's
that
a
I will
price
say,
tag,
the
I'll
one thing,
say.
the one thing I'll say is that we don't have any long-term studies that are showing if there's any long-term effects to eating GMOs. Okay, that's the one thing that this argument has.
if you look, human lifespans have increased, not decreased. So, over the course of 15,000 years, if GMOs were horrible for human health, I'm pretty sure we would have figured it out 10,000 years ago or something like that. You know, like we've been doing this since we started farming. Take your phone off the table; it's vibrating.
That's on the other end.
I can hear it in the mic. Just
take
put
your
it on
phone
your
off the
lap.
table.
Just put it on your
It's
lap.
off.
The thing that I always hear from people is like, take a carrot, for example, like a massive carrot in like a bag of whatever, and they're like, "There's a big carrot. That's not normal." Like blah blah blah. Cause like, oh, they grew carrots in their fucking backyard one year, and they didn't get that big, and they're like, imagine all the chemicals they pumped into that. Like that's immediately what people go to, and it's like it's infuriating. Like why?
Chemicals instantly make your crops bigger.
Yeah.
If
I
you
put them in my dick.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is opening up an entire can of worms that I do not want to get into because I'm just going to get pissed off. But
let's just-
if
So
you
let's get
like,
into it.
if you like the foods that you're eating right now, then you like genetically modified organisms. Okay. If you like the organic produce, if you like a banana that does not have seeds the size of quarters in it, then you like genetically modified organisms.
Bananas are going extinct, man.
Yeah, because the way that we've done it is if you don't like spitting the seeds out of your bananas, they have to get tiny enough for you to swallow. And when you can't plant a banana seed out of a banana.
Bananas
and
are all
expect a tree.
clones. I don't know if you knew that.
So what they do is they graft a piece of a banana tree off and they plant it in the ground and it grows another banana tree. The thing I find interesting is if you ever eat a banana candy and you're like, that doesn't taste like bananas. It does taste like bananas. It just tastes like the old kind of bananas that they had that went extinct because there was a disease that popped
That
up
wiped them out.
that wiped out all those bananas.
Because they were all the same.
They just recently found that there's actually a couple of heritage strains of those bananas in Jamaica that these farmers have been growing.
Are they coming back?
I don't know. Because you can't really bring them back because this disease is still an issue. But what they've been thinking about is they can take these bananas and they can like form like new species of bananas that are possibly genetically resistant to diseases because we're having the same issue again. Because once again, all these clones, if one gets this disease, it's really easy for that disease just to bounce.
banana. Yeah.
I don't know.
Or like grapes, seedless grapes.
Yeah.
Do you remember a time like 15 years ago when all grapes had seeds in them?
Yeah.
There are no grapes with seeds in
Have
them
you ever had
anymore.
a cherry with a pit, like lately? Like
Yeah,
ever?
actually,
Yeah.
all the time.
I haven't. I haven't found like cherries in like the past 5 to like 8 years with a fucking pit in it.
What? Have you eaten
Michigan
a cherry?
cherries?
Yeah.
Michigan
All the
cherries
time.
always have pits in them.
I've fucking
Like the
had it.
kind that you get, like the big ones that come from like Traverse City and shit.
I don't know. I'm sure if I actually like went to the store myself, I'd find them. But like
Okay,
the
maybe
Yeah, I
you're-
have no
maybe
clue
you're
what
shit
you're
that like
talking
my
about.
mom buys.
maybe
and
your parents
everything,
just buys like pitless cherries. You ever
Yes,
think about
I
that?
don't know. Like
Yeah, cherries have
I've
pits.
never heard
I've
of-
never heard of pitless cherries.
I
But
Apparently it's the
seedless
new thing.
grapes are definitely 100% a thing,
yeah. Oh yeah.
and it's crazy.
I fucking love grapes.
I found a bumper sticker. I wish I could remember what the bumper sticker said, but it's like the only bumper sticker
Buy
I've
American.
actually considered like buying and putting on my car where it was like GMOs are fine, vaccines are fine, stop being an idiot.
I've seen
like,
that
I
same
would
sticker.
slap the fuck that on my fucking car just to try to
one?
get the word out, and then
car?
maybe the car that I don't have, my future car.
Okay.
I
can-
honestly,
look at
I
the bright
honestly
side.
think that like this all just comes from the internet being born.
Yeah.
Like the spread of misinformation, I'm pretty optimistic that it'll die out in maybe a little while, like maybe
No.
10 years, 20 years, but
No, you're always gonna have people.
well, there'll
trying
always
to-
be propaganda, but I mean,
The way that our media is focusing
tough.
now is that it's all about views. It's all about trying to
Just
get
like our channel.
sensational.
So yeah, exactly. So what they can do is it's the same reason if you look at the news, and we've talked about this before. They'll say, like coming up, dark chocolate. Apparently, eating dark chocolate will prevent cancer. But they looked at a study that found that if you eat dark chocolate, like a certain percentage of people who eat dark chocolate have a lowered risk of this specific cancer. And all they're doing is it's literally the original like clickbait, where they're just trying to get you not to tune off of that station after the commercial break came up, because that's how they get their money. Same thing with Facebook. A person who's getting paid minimum wage finds some random study and they go, okay, how can I make this so sensationalized, so outrageous of a title that when it pops up on your Facebook feed in a little box, you can say, you won't believe what dark chocolate will do to your health. And then people who don't have anything better to do will click on that and go, oh wow, I can't believe that if I eat dark chocolate, I'm not going to get cancer. And then they sit there and they eat all the fucking dark chocolate they can get their hands on. When really, they find that 15 grams of dark chocolate on like a monthly basis will actually help you because it has specific chemicals in it that reduce the amount of inflammatories in your system or something like that. It's extremely specific, but when you put it in that sensationalized, the worst part is most of the time you read it, like most people read a title, they don't have the time or the interest to read the actual article to figure out what it actually means, and so they read that and then they have water cooler talk to talk about. So
I mean,
they
yeah,
can-
that's the biggest issue is that people don't want to actually read things.
and then that's what happened. That's when you can get something like flat Earth to like speed itself around. And the other thing is,
David's angry.
I'm really angry because this is just bringing up all this shit that I've been noticing. On the internet, there's no discourse. So you can have somebody who does not have any expertise in any situation. So, for example...
Like all of us right now.
Yeah, okay. But I actually pay attention. I actually try to research some of the shit. So I'm doing a lot better than most people are. You can have somebody who will make a 15-minute YouTube video explaining all these different crazy-ass fucking theories.
So what Perry listens to.
Yeah, sure. About how dinosaurs aren't real and fossils are actually just like rocks that archaeologists, if that's really what they went to study for, can chisel out and make into like a stone that looks like a bone. And then there's no actual archaeologist who says, we have a way of figuring out that this bone is actually turned into stone through these processes. There's no way that you can get two people in the room to have an argument or even a conversation about this stuff. So then somebody can post a YouTube video up there, and then whoever wants to can watch that YouTube video. They don't have to look at the other side. They don't have to look at the argument. They don't have to look at the debate, and they can just feed off of what they want. It's a biased, okay?
Honestly, I don't think fossils are real, but continue.
Oh, yeah, sure. Of course, yeah. I respect your opinion, but I think you're an idiot. That's what you have to do at this point, because the other thing that I hate is everybody who gets pissed off at each other on the internet, and it just like it boils down to the worst like possible way that you can talk to another human being, which is just calling them an idiot and thinking of all the different obscenities and then trying to back up your opinion with the things that you already mentioned.
Nobody on the internet has time to actually give a comprehensive argument.
Yeah.
Like it's just a shit show. It's just a shit show.
So that's why I don't try, because I see things on the internet and I get fired up like I assume everybody else does. I'll see a comment, I'll see something such as like fossils aren't real, don't at me about this. And I know that I could go into a really detailed comment that would explain scientific evidence of how fossils are real.
But people don't want to listen.
And their response would be, your mom gay. Huh. And then that's it.
There's no point. And that's why I feel so bad about all these people, because if they really understood how to look at something and then understand that you can't really look at anything nowadays, any information at all, and think that there's not another side to it. That's what I realized when I started going to college, is no matter what...
Humble brag.
Sorry. You tried to go to college too.
I did try.
But you have to look at something, and then you instantly have to go, okay, what's the other side of this? And then you have to look, because you'll get one person who will give their opinion on something. And then there's certain things that are objective, but 90% of everything that's in the world today is subjective.
Yeah.
There's another opinion about it, there's another theory about it, there's another basis that you could believe if you wanted to. It's all that Occam's razor thing. Do you know what Occam's razor is?
Yes, I do.
Good.
See, yeah, this all depends on, and I think the reason that these stupid-ass movements keep living on is that people don't want to look at the other side. They don't want to. They're going to sit there and they're going to fill up their circles with people who agree with them and believe in what they believe, but they don't want
to face if they're wrong.
Well, we do that.
Nobody wants to admit they're wrong.
We do that naturally. We, like you said, we don't want to admit that we're wrong, but you also just fill up your circle. Now that it's so easy to like pick and choose what you want to listen to, so on Twitter you can follow all alt-left or all alt-right or all conservative or all liberal media, and then you never have to see the other side. It's that easy. So then all you're getting is liberal propaganda, which exists. Same thing with conservative propaganda, same thing with alt-left, same thing with alt-right, and you can just surround yourself with this group of people so that you never have anybody who like judges your opinion or says that you're wrong or tries to give you a different opinion. Everybody just likes all your comments and comments that you're a genius and that everything you say is right. Whereas in today's, or I guess in past societies, if you brought something up, somebody could then tell you, hey, you're wrong. Or, hey, that's an opinion, and this is the other side of that, and here's the evidence to back that up.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to, I guess the point that I'm trying to make is you can put up walls and you can make it so that you never have to get your opinion hurt. You never have to have somebody who judges you and is ableist because they know more stuff about you.
I'm ableist. I don't like people who aren't able-bodied. We're about halfway through the podcast, and with that, I wanted to do a half-year recap because it's the first day of June as of this recording. So
shit, it is.
It is the 1st of June. My birthday's in 2 days. Thank you for remembering.
Shit.
Oh shit!
I left the oven on.
So, David, I'll start with you.
Oh, no.
Halfway through the year, give me a recap. What's the interesting tidbits for a year? I can think of a few.
Oh yeah, tell me about the interesting tidbits of
Well,
my ear.
you broke your car.
Is there anything else you can think of?
That's all I can think of.
Okay, yeah, that's the main thing that
You
happened
fucked
in my
fish
life.
up at.
He's been fucking fish for half a year.
Well, that's the only thing I can really think about that I've
Fucking fish?
changed over the past half the year. Yes, is my affinity towards sexualizing fish. Yeah. The only thing that I can think
See how
of is
smartly he said
that.
that.
Yeah.
It's kind of hot.
Anyways, the only thing that I can really think of that I've tried to change, because I pride myself because I'm extremely humble. I pride myself in always trying to change my opinion, and always trying to be more intelligent, more analytical.
It's not working, but continue.
Yeah, I know. Trust me, I know. And so the thing that I've been trying to do is, because I'm studying biology at college, the big thing that I've noticed is that I have a really big biased opinion about animals, which was for a really long time. I wish you would stop saying that. The longest time I had this view of animals where it was bad to be a hunter or to be a fisherman, because all I saw was
you were killing innocent animals.
Yeah, was that you were killing innocent animals. There was no benefit towards it. However, I've been trying to break that down because I realized that was an opinion. And if you look at the other side, and that's why I don't know if you guys have noticed, I've been trying to break out and
Kill
try
more
to,
animals?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
But I've been trying to, because the main points that I can make is that it's healthier for you. You can get away from factory farming, which is killing the planet. I don't want to get into it. And
So let's get into it. No.
I can get a much stronger respect for animals and fish by getting in there, getting into the environments.
Oh, Dave, the look you gave me.
By getting into the environments that they live in and getting up close and personal. And it is kind of backwards to think that by killing an animal, you are able to respect it more, but you develop.
Well, I think the thing you're also
appreciation
missing here
for it.
is that it's also about, it helps the environment in a specific way, because if they overpopulate,
Totally.
especially with Michigan deer, and I think there's one more species in Michigan that gets really crazy.
You can
Like
see
rabbits.
that with you can see that with a
Yeah.
whole bunch of different populations.
So
of
it's
animals.
like being a hunter, a respectful hunter, not like a prize hunter or anything like that, is helping the environment in a way. Like that's why you have to get licenses to make sure that it's more controlled and all that.
It's
The
like
other-
any ecosystem. There's
exactly.
predators and
Yeah.
there's prey. It's like if you introduce wolves in into
The city.
Yeah, the Greater Yellowstone area,
Sure.
for example. That's the.
I was trying to
the-
think of where
yeah.
it was at. Yeah.
That's the biggest one that they've done, and you can actually see. I don't know if you guys saw the video where it was like the wolves affect the stream or whatever
Yeah,
like that. I can give a recap of it if you want,
No.
but it's not important. Go watch the video if you want to. It's interesting. But what happens is the media and our entertainment has kind of put this bias on what a hunter is. Fox and the Hound is my best example, where it's this evil person who makes animals not do what they want to do and brutally murders and kills animals. Where in reality, if you take a deer for example, if you didn't shoot that deer, if you didn't kill that deer is going to die. And it's going to die in a much more inhumane and a much worse way, whether it's freezing to death, whether it starves, whether another animal kills it. And animals are not as humane as we are.
They're pretty brutal.
Yeah. And so people
Nature's game.
who you can look at and you can paint all hunters in a view where they are evil people. But like you said, in most cases, a state will allot a certain amount of animals to be killed by hunters that is healthy for a population. They won't go over that to where you're harming the population, but it's all population dynamics. The other thing that you brought up, and I don't think you mentioned it, but trophy hunters is I think what you were trying to bring up. And even then, I know the biggest thing recently was the whole Cecil Alliant thing. And you can
That
paint
was
it.
like 2 years ago. But
Okay, but that's the biggest thing that the media talked about. And you can paint it in a way where these people are animals. Funny, because they're going in and they're killing these creatures that didn't do anything wrong. However, if you look at the way that Africa's ecosystems are set up, there are very few areas of wild Africa anymore.
Yeah.
If you want to go see animals, you have to go to a refuge, which is a protected area. And the only way that those refuges get money is through controlled trophy hunting. So you have a very rich, very affluent person walk in, and they went over there because they knew for $100,000 they could kill a lion. Now, those lions need to be killed which sounds really backwards, but they need to be killed because A, it helps out the gene pool, because you're removing a top tier animal from that gene pool so that other animals can work their way up to that top tier, and they can then diversify the population by putting their own genetics into it. And then, hang on, I'm not done. The other thing is, for example, like a rhino. What'll happen is you'll get a rhino in an area where they deem it a dangerous rhino because it'll be killing other rhinos, which is not good. Not good at all, because then what'll happen is if it kills a female rhino, that rhino cannot have any more baby rhinos. And so you'll say this is a dangerous animal and it has to be gotten rid of so that we can try to protect this animal's lives, these animals' lives. And the other side of this, and what you saw when the whole Cecil lion thing happened, is nobody wanted to go over and kill any more lions. So what had to happen was they had to go in there and kill the lions themselves because they were overpopulating and they were decimating populations of people by going in and then like killing villages and stuff like that. And they were endangering other things, and they were killing too many animals. So they have to hire people to go in and kill these lions. So you're not getting that money back into the refuge anymore. So it seems really backwards when you see these people going over to Africa and killing these animals, but really that's the best way that we can try to keep these animals alive. It doesn't make any sense, but you really have to dive deep and you have to try to understand the issues that are going on. I wish that they had such a nice government assisted system like we have over here, where they have a lot of money through taxes and stuff like that that they can put into these refuges and stuff like that. But it comes down to it, if people don't go over there and kill these animals are going to die. So if you like giraffes and you like elephants and you like lions and stuff, you have to let people go over there so that they can put money back into the economy. The other thing that I will bring up, and then you can bring up the point that you're trying to make, is a lot of the meat that they collect then goes to those villages that do not get meat because they are not allowed to hunt those animals. Okay, based on their laws. So that village, if it's by a river, it might get fish, but other than that, they're eating grain and they're eating breads and stuff like that. They're eating rice that they get, and that meat is then given to those villages in those areas, which they get to then eat actual protein. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
Okay, now bring up your point.
it pretty well.
Well, I didn't really want to delve into this because we're still doing the year recap. Which
Yeah, sure. Go ahead and bring up the point, and then
derailed,
you can go around the rest of the table. I just want to bring that up.
like you said, it does seem really ass backwards, and I'm not really sure how much I believe. Give me some sources on that after the podcast.
Sure.
I want to study that a little bit more. But I think the problem with that is even if... See, I don't know, I'm trying to think. We're at 47 minutes. Is that, we're still losing these species of animals. Like the black rhino just went extinct, and lions are still endangered. So it's is it really helping? Is it really doing much to just let people kill these animals with a license, or because they're rich, that they get to choose which animal to kill?
The way that I can best describe it is, if you look at the way that they're doing this, it's very selective, and that's really the only way. So, for example, with the lions, a lot of lion recovery and a lot of lion improvement in their species, because they're on a rebound, they are bouncing back, is you have to go in and you have to be able to kill certain amounts of these lions, because that's how population dynamics work. Some of these animals have to die in order for the population to actually improve, and they are doing it very selectively. It's not like you just have a guy come in and just murder as many lions as he wants.
Yeah.
And you're also having this very affluent man. Trust me, I wish that the hunters that went over there were not these huge, rich, fat guys who get to drive up to a lion in a car, hop out of it, shoot it with a gun, and then hold its head up like it was some proud trophy that he shot. Because that's pretty much what's happening. However, if you want lions to continue improving, what's going to happen is this is going to have to continue. It's not nice, but I don't see any other way that you can get people to be interested in these animals, because what's going to happen is if you don't have these people go into these environments and kill these animals, they're going to have to start removing these environments in order to allow these people who live off of this economy, who live off the economy of these people coming over and killing these animals, harvesting these animals, and they're going to have to start resorting to farming, for example, which is going to remove all of these environments and kill off even more of these animals.
Gotcha.
Or if the lion population gets out of control, there's too many predators.
Like what happened where they had to kill 10 lions because they didn't have anyone to kill these lions. Whereas they could have made $15,000 to $100,000 on each one of those lions. And that could have gone back to saving more lions.
So, David's recap is he has studied murdering animals and agrees with it now. No, I'm kidding. Perry, recap?
Of my year?
Half year, yep.
Oh man,
A lot has happened for you.
It's not a lot of good stuff. So,
But that's what the next half of the year is for, man. You got a new job.
well,
Yeah, you on the
the
come up.
best thing I can say about my year, like the best things that have happened.
You're getting tan, by the way.
Yeah, I'm getting really tan. That's kind of crazy.
So,
that
continue.
happened. I get outside a lot now, which that's new for me. You know, this year, like
Yeah.
damn, the last 19
Harry's
years
never
of
been
my
outside.
I was a hermit.
You know, I mean, I used to go outside a lot as a kid, but not so much in my teenage or young adult years.
Too busy
But,
playing games. Too much Smash.
Nah, just a lot of sitting in the house and contemplating my life. But I've
So
learned,
depressing.
I've learned to go outside and contemplate my life now. So
yeah.
that's cool.
That's what I did when I was 14.
I honestly
Instead of
like
being
being
inside and
outside now.
depressed, you're outside and depressed. That's nice.
It's better for you. It's better for
You're
you.
surrounded by the happy you're surrounded.
And then, yeah, other than going outside a lot more, like I'm trying to elevate my consciousness, just like David, and that's new for me.
Perry's gonna be a hunter too.
By
I mean, I've always been-
by reading about how cell phone towers are going to kill us all.
No,
Oh,
But
it's not elevating
higher
your consciousness.
consciousness, yeah.
higher
Higher
consciousness, as in like my own personal struggles and stripes and like how I'm learning from things.
Personal reflection.
Nothing to do with the external world. I
Yeah,
promise.
the external world sucks.
Yeah.
I wish it didn't exist.
What?
I wish we could just be floating entities in space where we could just contemplate our existence. And that's
We're
what
gonna
we
get
do.
there.
Eventually, yeah.
Via Perry.
Yeah,
He's-
we're going
he's
to
the guru.
ascend into the ethereal realm.
Carries
it.
the link
Well.
between it.
But
Yeah.
What are your? I guess we should also include goals for the rest of the year.
all
If
right,
you
well
want,
then do
Perry.
you want to hop back on?
No, go ahead. I want Perry to finish what he was saying. Is there anything else you want to include, or you want to mention your goals for the rest of the year?
Well, the other thing is I finally got a job, you know, that isn't complete shit. I mean, I had a job at the beginning of the year, working at Papa John's, making dick ass for money. But now, you know, I actually have like an actual job that has a ladder that
And
I
a career,
can
yeah.
climb.
You have a career path now.
Yeah, like, you know, they're telling me within the next month I might be making $16 an hour. Like,
That's nice.
Hook me up, dude.
I know, that's
This
what I'm
is legit.
saying. Like, damn, like, you know.
Nah, I'm on a career path too. I completely get it. It's,
Yeah, and my job's like in a union. Like literally, all I have to do is just have seniority. Like just keep working there as long as possible, and
and I know
it's
that's something
inevitable.
you're good at. Is once you have something that you're doing, you can keep doing it. You're really good at that.
Right. It's
Yeah.
like
One of
I could
the-
be driving a Tesla in 2 years. You feel me?
Ooh,
Yeah.
I'm really triggered by the way
That
you just
loop.
pronounced it. But
Tesla. Yeah.
What's wrong with Tesla?
it's not a Z in the
Tesla.
middle. It's an
Tesla?
S.
Tesla.
Yeah.
Anyways,
my bad.
David, you want to hop on a goal train?
Hell yeah.
I mean, I don't.
Perry's is to drive a Tesla.
Yeah, Perry wants to drive
Kinda,
a Tesla.
yeah.
in
I
the
want-
rest
I
of
want a new car.
2018. Yeah.
That is a good.
I also want a new car.
good goal. Good goal. Moving up in the world.
Continue researching. I have a research project that I have to work on through college, trying to get better at studying and stuff like that. I have to go back to college in a couple months, so that'll be my biggest goal for the rest of the year, probably.
Yeah, you're
Just
working
gonna-
on a whole curriculum, aren't you?
Yeah. I have to finish up. I have a research project that is that I'm starting. I haven't really done very much on it, but I have to do a lot of research that involves my degree so that I can graduate, and it kind of helps me in the future.
Yeah.
So
Definitely good.
yeah, and continuing to elevate my into a higher consciousness.
Yeah.
Good.
That's everyone's goal
like
for the year. Hendrix, half your recap.
I mean, I wanted to just say to Perry right quick. One of the cooks up at where I work at,
Yeah.
he has a second job at UPS, right? 40 hours a week, right? Dude gets paid like $38 an hour,
Yeah.
and
Why you got a second job?
for fun. He tells me he just cooks for fun.
that's fair.
it. And he gets 40 hours there too. But
This boy driving a Tesla.
Man,
nah, he drives a shitty ass piece of shit.
Is it Bert?
No, it's not.
Bert working at UPS.
But during like for seasonal hours and shit, when he gets time and a half, or he'll get double time on top of that, and it's like, oh, dude, it's ridiculous. He's telling me about all this money that he gets.
I know. I've already worked. My first day, I already got overtime. I'm so fucking thrilled about it. A whole hour of overtime.
Nice. Good
Like,
shit.
You know, and I only work like 10 hours a week right now, but that overtime is gonna help.
It's something.
It'll probably make
Yeah,
it feel
it'll-
like 12 hours a week.
You gotta start somewhere, Perry.
Definitely. Hendrix?
Okay, well, anyway, year recap. I don't know. I'm not a very interesting person. I just have my girlfriend, my workplace, and
You driving now, though? I mean, I know that kind of happened at the end of last year, but
yeah, I mean the girlfriend kind of happened at the end of last year too, but yeah, I drive my piece of shit.
I'm glad you finally admit it. Thank you.
I mean,
You
still,
drive.
still better
you
than
drive
most.
a piece of
it?
shit.
Yeah, just
Just
a,
How do you
drive a
it's
turd,
a
bro?
polished turd. Yeah,
Wow.
It makes me happy to hear you say that, honestly.
it's not really. It's still 3 times better than your first
Beast
like 3
mode.
cars.
The Impala was great. I don't want to get into it, but
I
nonetheless.
don't know about that.
Anyways,
Yeah.
What are you gonna do this year, boy?
Yeah, what are your goals? Well,
I mean,
we have a shared goal.
yeah, our shared goal of moving out.
Getting a place.
Yeah, that's hopefully for July, beginning of July.
is that including Clay? Or
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
No,
I
fuck
didn't know if you guys
I
were
mean,
just
like,
backdooring
I
him.
finished my first semester.
Don't, so
of
don't tell
college.
him. But
I'm in the same boat with David of going
Yeah.
back to college in
Yeah.
a couple of months.
yeah, me too. Me too.
Oh yeah, you plan on dropping out again?
Yeah. Yes.
right.
Actually.
Yeah, my goal is just to make enough money to afford my college because I don't get anything. I have to pay all of it out of pocket, not in debt. That's the plan. But I go to a community college, unlike David. So I don't think you go to a community
No,
college.
he doesn't.
I go to a university.
Yeah.
Humble
Big
brag.
boys.
Yeah.
Cheapest state university in Michigan. Holla.
Yeah. And just keep an open mind and be happy. That's really the
It's a
only
big
goal.
thing. I think we all need to focus on that.
And
Don't
I mean,
look at me
I'm
like
happy
that.
and like I'm happy now, and I still have an open
yeah.
mind. So
And
it's like,
elevate to a higher consciousness.
Yes,
Of
That
course.
is
there
one
you
of your
go.
goals.
Enter into
woke.
the ethereal realm
Yeah, with Perry.
with Perry.
yeah.
It's like that episode of Futurama where they go to the robot planet.
Kyle, you want to give us a little recap of your half
Well,
year?
half my year feels like 2 years worth of shit that's happened to me. I've gone through 3 cars this year. I've owned
yeah.
3 cars this year.
Beautiful.
I started it with the Impala
This year?
this year.
Oh my
I had the
God,
Impala
you're
in
right.
January.
Yeah.
I remember because I was driving it to Bailey's house in the snow.
Mm-hmm.
So I had the Impala, I had the Celica, and now I have the van. So one of my goals this year is to not have another car. I feel like that's a great goal, but
You don't want to work on number 5?
nope, not yet.
sure?
Give it a couple of years.
What's your
Give
what's
it like
your-
another 6 months when the van breaks down, and then you have
What's
to
your
get another
extended
piece
goal
of
for the
shit.
van? When are you thinking about replacing that thing? Next
Couple
year?
years.
A couple years, yeah.
I would like to do next year, but I feel like I'm going to keep it as long as it'll last. It's in perfect
should.
condition. It's
Like,
100. It's got 100,000 miles on it. Like, that's
Financially,
pretty good.
your best bet is
Is
to
to keep
stay
it.
with the van.
Yeah. So make up enough
might-
money so that you can buy an actually
That's-
decent car. There
You
you
Well-
go.
might be like a soccer mom now, you know,
Oh,
like
who
what's
gives a
up,
fuck,
what's
dude?
up, Karen? But like
No, it's Kylie.
Kylie, oh, okay.
Continue with your goals.
Anyways, so, well, I'm actually not done with my recap. So yeah, I've had 3 cars. I've started putting myself out there more to friendship.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, David.
Wait, we're not good enough for you anymore.
Well, no, I'm just like meeting new people, not necessarily friendship, but just being like once you leave high school, you don't really learn like you just stick with the group of people that you know best, and that's something that I know we've all done. But and while I do appreciate my friends I have and I've had since high school, for Hendrix I've had for 9 or 8 years now, it's like it's still cool to try to talk to new people because as David said earlier, you need to get different perspectives on things. And so, you know, I've just been doing that. I've just been meeting new people and talking to new people at work or at the coffee shop or just in general. Like on the street, you smile at someone and say hi. And I feel like that's very important. So one of my goals to play off that this year is to make more friends or just to talk to more people. Be nicer to people.
Nicer acquaintance or
Yeah, you know, just not even be friendship. You know,
not
just,
enough people walk past each other on the sidewalk on like their
We're 90
morning
now. We sound like
walks
9-year-olds.
and
No,
just smile.
nowadays people don't smile at each other.
No, because it's like
Yeah. Everybody's just walking around looking at their little dang screens.
yeah, or no, like you ever like walk past someone and they just have this like permanent frown on their
They
face.
just look pissed off.
Yeah, and it's like
Kyle, if you're gonna talk about me on the podcast, please just say it.
Say it to his face.
let me at you right quick.
Yeah.
Nah, it's like you just like this little smile or a hi, how are you? You know, it's like
Hi, how are you?
like doing the hosting the past 3 days for my hours, right? Like just like quick little snippets into people's lives, just like
Makes them feel important.
I think
That-
that also, the thing that I've noticed and the thing that I find really funny about living up north is that everybody smiles and waves at each other.
Because everyone knows
it's
each
a,
other.
it's a
No,
small community,
But
right?
yeah, it's a really small community, and it's also just like everybody is like slow, like their lives are so slowed down that they don't feel like it's a burden. Just so like when you see like a person standing on the side of the road, also there's like nobody up there, so seeing another person, you're like, wow, human contact. But
No, I think the thing on that is
Hey,
like if
over
they
here.
see you up there in the middle of fucking nowhere, they're probably like, they must know someone up here, or
Yeah.
they're up here for a reason. So
There's
I probably know that
multiple
person. So
layers
hi,
of
how are
connection.
you?
But honestly, you can just like it's so funny because you get on a like two-lane road like going in a direction in the UP, and you see like a lady walking her dog, she's going to smile and wave at you, and it's just creepy if you just like look at her and not smile and wave. So, but it's like the same thing in the city. But I just feel like there's so many people here. Everybody feels like they're just super like congested, and it's like an anthill, and nobody can break their concentration, and they have to be looking at their phones to figure out what their girlfriend's yelling at them about. And there's like 6 cars in front of them and 6 cars behind them. I can't relate because I don't drive, but
Not anymore.
and you're just like always like everybody's just racing. Like, okay, right now at like 5 o'clock in the afternoon, everybody gets out of work
7,
and they speed home, like merging through traffic and trying to get home as quickly as possible because they can't be bothered to like
me every day
try to
getting
be
here.
considerate to other human beings. I feel like that just comes with the cities, but
Yeah. I had something else. Oh, I also started a new job 3 months ago. So I'm on that train with Perry is finding a job that's more of a career path and a life choice. Like at Discount Tire, I didn't have benefits. I wasn't a full-time employee, even though we worked 50 hours, 60 hours a week. And at my new job, you know, once I get fully hired in, hopefully next week, I'll have benefits. I'll have a 401k. Like it's a life choice, and that's very important to me. Is I took $1 less. You know, I'm making $1 less, but it's like it's worth it in the long run. Because I have, like Perry
have
said,
room to grow.
I have room to grow. I have a ladder I can climb up. You know, it's not just tire tech for life. So that's very important.
do you see yourself working at your job currently long term?
I do.
Yeah?
I could. Yeah, I could definitely work there for longer than a year. Because I mean, I think I worked at Discount Tire for 10 months. That may have been my longest job. I think I worked at Giuliano's for 10 months too.
No,
No,
not even close.
I worked there for
Maybe like 6.
I worked there from April to June of the next year.
Are you sure?
I'm 100%. I have the pay stubs if I
Basically,
care.
yeah, 9, 10,
But
10 months, yeah.
I've been there for 2 years.
yeah, you've been there a long time.
And I've still got lots of room to grow.
Are they hiring?
Yeah, actually.
You could be a dishwasher with us.
yeah,
perfect.
you can
What I
go.
used to
I mean,
be.
not us. I ain't no dishwasher. Fuck.
Not anymore.
Great, so then I get
Only
to go
on
there
Mondays.
and get
Nah,
put
not
down-
even Mondays
Not
anymore.
anymore.
I get
But-
to go down there and get put down by Kyle Moore. She's like, "You lowly dishwasher," and then he slams a fucking plate in my face.
He'll throw a hot pan at you.
Nah.
But
Okay.
you know, my goal this year is to have a elevated higher conscious now. No, I do want to be a happier person this year. I'm sure people who consistently listen to this, I'm sure they realize by now that I'm not a happy person.
We're all
Consistently
pretty
over the
cynical.
past 10 weeks, like I get a hot head real quick, and I like to argue and yell. And that's something I do want to work on. You know, I feel like that is kind of an issue in my life is
Yeah, I used to call you the bipolar bear. Because the one second you'd be nice and happy, and the next second
'cause you
someone
piss
would
me
say
off,
something,
but-
you'd be pissed off. Wouldn't even be just me.
That's what a
It'd be anyone.
bipolar person would say. But
yeah, but nonetheless, I feel like I've been struggling with that for a long time. Is my bipolar disorder? You know, trust me, I used to be a little bit worse. I have kind of rebounded.
I don't think you actually have bipolar disorder. But
definitely
like,
do.
You're just fast to trigger.
no,
Nonetheless,
The
You're
bipolar disorder is
emotional.
not
I
something you
think
can help.
I think that's
Yeah.
really big of you to identify that in yourself and try to work on it.
I always
even
do
if I don't
something
have
about it.
bipolar, I do have an attitude.
Yeah, no, you're more emotional. That's
You're an arrogant asshole. We understand.
Thank
Kyle.
you.
yeah.
All right. With that, I feel like we should wrap it up. We're
Yeah.
at an
You got
hour
any
and two.
closing thoughts?
Stay woke.
Stay woke. Elevate your
woke.
consciousness, everyone.
Yeah.
It's very important. And
Let's go to Coney.
I don't know, man. Actually.
I'm about hungry as hell. Clay
I'm
asked
pr-
if we wanted to go. He just put it in the chat.
Oh, did he? Fuck him. Fuck that guy. He's not even on this week, so he can't go with us. But
Damn.
if you liked this recording, like and subscribe. Elevate your consciousness. Remember to not be biased. Look at all sides of an argument.
Exactly.
And everybody have a great week. Until next time.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.